हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, वेलकम टू आवर फर्स्ट एपिसोड जिसमें हम एक वक्त पे दो लोगों को इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं। लंबा चौड़ा मैं इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं कराऊंगा। वी हैव द फाउंडर ऑफ ऑफ नॉट द डेंटल टॉक, फाउंडर ऑफ पाकिस्तान एसोसिएशन ऑफ डेंटल स्टूडेंट्स एंड द एक्स प्रेसिडेंट, एंड वी हैव द current president of the Pakistan Association of Dental Students. Amazing platform for dental students. They have a lot of dental students working for them. They have a lot of dental students in their organization. They're doing a splendid job. I've also been working with them for since the start. And so, how are you guys? How are you, Aneeqa, Aleena? कैसे हैं आप दोनों?
We're good, Alhamdulillah. How are you, GM?
Alhamdulillah, I am good. How are you, Aneeqa?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good as well. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So, should we start the interview?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. अच्छा जी, सबसे पहले my question to Aleena will be, Aneeqa से मैं पहली दफा question, just by the way, Aneeqa has the honor of being the first person to be interviewed twice on the Dental Talk. So that's a huge honor for Aneeqa, I would assume. Okay, anyway, my question to Aleena would be tell us briefly how you got into dentistry. आपने dentistry choose कैसे की, and ये पिछले 4 साल आपका कैसा experience रहा है?
Okay. So choosing a field for me was a very difficult thing. उसकी वजह ये थी कि I did federal board, तो जब आप FSC में जाते हो तो you have
Yeah.
pre engineering और pre medical. तो
Yeah.
मुझे ना बहुत सारी चीजें करने का शौक था. I was interested in so many things, and choosing either of them was very very hard. तो इनिशियली तो मैंने क्या किया कि मैंने एक महीना पहले मैं प्री एंट्री क्लासेस में बैठती थी, फिर एक महीना आई स्टार्ट इन प्री मेडिकल, एंड इट इज नॉट हेल्पफुल एट ऑल क्योंकि I still couldn't decide. तो बेसिकली हुआ ये कि एक दिन मैं बैठी एंड आई स्टार्टेड टू जॉट डाउन थिंग्स कि क्या क्या चीजें मुझे बिल्कुल करने का शौक नहीं है, एंड व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट आई रियली वांट टू डू. सो the three things that I really want to do was visual communications or mass communication, basically software engineering and dentistry. तो मैंने
Okay.
इसके बाद थोड़ा सा लाइक वर्कआउट किया या थोड़ा सा सोचा, तो आई रियलाइज कि जो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग और विजुअल कम्युनिकेशन की फील्ड है ना, दैट इज समथिंग जो मैं थोड़ा सा यूट्यूब या अपने एंड पे भी लर्न कर सकती हूँ, बिकॉज आई हैड फ्रेंड्स जो दे वर वर्किंग फ्रीलांस इन दैट एज वेल.
Yeah.
बट डेंटिस्ट्री एक ऐसी फील्ड थी, इन ऑर्डर टू वर्क इन इट और इन ऑर्डर टू लाइक एक्सप्लोर मोर ऑन इट, आई हैड टू हैव अ डिग्री इन इट.
Yeah. It
So
was.
based on that, I decided that I wanted to do dentistry. So that's how I got into
Wow,
dentistry.
man. इतना प्रोसेस था आपका करियर चूज करना. मुझे तो
Yes.
बस मेरे अम्मी अबू ने कहा था कि मेडिसिन चूज कर लो. मैंने मेडिसिन चूज कर ली थी. Wow.
This is rare.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting story. Okay. To Aneeqa, अब आपकी हाउस जॉब खत्म हो गई है. How will you define this 5-year journey? What were your ups and what were your lows? Like, no, obviously don't tell us about your lows, but like, how did you get past those lows and what were your highs? And just describe this experience of BDS in just briefly.
Yep. Actually, Alhamdulillah, first of all, for all these years, I was at CMH Lahore, and one of the best institutes to get into in order to do dentistry.
I agree.
One thing that I have realized by the end is that I was able to see some things very early, which has its pros and cons. Being part of all these extracurricular activities, founding an organization, and then that organization spreading across Pakistan, and then meeting so many professors, listening to them, talking to them, and discussing ideas and having them for different projects. What happened was that I was able to see some things which I may have seen if I entered the academia some years later.
Yeah.
That had its pros and cons. Some things disappointed me. Some things made me even more motivated. So one big difference that I found in being involved in these activities, and then this 5 years journey, apart from some other colleagues of mine,
Yeah.
would be this, that I was able to identify some problems in our systems very early on. And once again, I repeat, some were disappointing and some were really good. Secondly, I think for me, this journey, usually we tend to say that the time passed very quickly for us. But for me, if I look back, I feel like 10 years have passed.
Wow.
I really feel like that.
You're
And
so
the reason
lucky.
is that,
I feel like
and the
it
reason
gets
is that,
ended in like 2
especially in
years.
the last,
Yeah.
because even for me, in other experiences in my lifetime tends to pass rather quickly. But the last 3 years, or at least 4 years for me, whenever I look back, I still feel like more time has passed than has
Because
passed.
so much has happened.
So,
Because so much has happened. Is
so
that
much has happened, so much has changed,
yeah.
and not just for me, so much has changed for people around me as well. So, being part of the organization, and then people like Aleena, Aneeq, Wajiha, to name a few. Honestly, I would like to name everybody. These 5 years were very hectic for me, very hectic, but at the same time, really fun. And if I could go back 5 years, I would 100% want to live them exactly the same, inshallah.
Yeah.
Can't trade this for any.
Yeah. चलें. Okay. Aleena, आप भी थोड़ा briefly बता दें अपने experience के बारे में 5 years. Actually, post
I'd say
PADS. Actually, tell us about your experience post PADS. Once you joined PADS, उसके बाद का experience.
okay. Um, so basically, when I joined PADS, I joined as director training programs, and जब मैंने join किया था तो PADS was already, I think, 1 year into its establishment, वो बन चुकी थी and all that.
Yeah.
तो I love the experience being director training programs. बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें मैंने सीखी. थोड़ा सा मैं feel करती थी when before PADS that I was sort of living in a bubble. कराची में आप लोगों से इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हो, कराची के इंस्टीट्यूट में कराची के लोगों से, वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं आप कर रहे. But when I joined PADS and getting to interact with so many people from all over Pakistan was a wonderful experience. And not just students, but also teachers and professors as well.
Yeah.
Things changed for me more when I joined the dental camp in Balakot.
Yeah, last year.
The first camp that was conducted. उस वक्त when I went to the camp and I saw the number of students from all over Pakistan जो वहाँ पे आए हुए थे, the interaction with them, and then talking to Aneeqa regarding the organization, that's when I really felt how promising this organization looks. And that was like sort of the time when I decided that, I want to do more for this organization. I want to be more into it so that it goes further and further. So I would say that my experience in dentistry has changed drastically after I joined PADS, because the amount of interaction, not just with students, but also with teachers and professors, was so immense and so welcoming that I enjoyed it a lot.
Very nice. Such a beautiful answer. I have tears in my eyes. अच्छा जी. All right. दोनों से मैं ये सवाल पूछूंगा. Aleena, what's your favorite field in dentistry? Speciality.
My favorite field,
Speciality.
hands down, orthodontics.
Orthodontics. I was not expecting
Yes.
that answer. Acha, what's that field that made you cry in like throughout these 5 years? वो एक कौन सा subject है जिसने रुला दिया था?
I would say two, but if I had to choose between perio or prosto, I'd say prosto.
मतलब रुला दिया था, आंसू निकल गए थे.
Yes, not per se, क्योंकि मुझे डेंटिस्ट्री पर से मुझे कभी भी मुश्किल नहीं लगी. मुझे डेंटिस्ट्री एज अ प्रोफेशन बहुत इजी लगता है, बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है, बहुत फन है, लर्निंग वाइज बहुत इजी है. लेकिन प्रोस्तो इज समथिंग जो मेरा ना इंटरेस्ट है. आई फील इट्स वेरी ड्राई, तो मुझे प्रोस्तो में आज सच कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है.
Alright, Aneeqa, what's your favorite specialty?
It's periodontics and public health.
Oh, wow, I was not expecting that answer once again. I was expecting surgery. I don't know why.
Why? Acha, yes, of course, I'm interested in surgery, which is also why I said perio. Lekin I'm these days trying to figure out more and, limiting my options. Okay. Inshallah.
Acha, what's the subject that made you cry during these 4 years?
No one.
None? Yeah,
no one.
None?
Honestly, I tried to think about an answer, but okay. No one.
Okay.
Like, not literally crying, but no.
Alright, so for me, it was orthodontics. मैं एक prof है जो मैं prof देके घर जाके रोया हूँ, and that was orthodontics. Because I was
okay,
just
okay, now I have an answer. Now I have an answer, actually. I was thinking about speciality subjects and I could not find an answer because none of them.
Okay.
It was community dentistry for me.
Okay, so now you like public health. So
Literally,
clearly that worked out.
because I was in my second year at the time when we did community dentistry. At that time, I did not like the subject. Now I do. That's a different story. But at that time, it literally made me cry because I do not like rote learning.
Yeah.
And in the exam, we had to reproduce so much stuff, exactly the same from the book, definitions and all those. So the only time I cried during the 4 years about the subject was CD. I think my friends can also tell you that.
Okay. Yeah,
I would always go like,
काफी लोगों को रुलाता है. And for me, it was ortho. I cannot forget that day. It was horrible because I had studied so much ortho. और फिर वो जो paper आया था, it was terrible. Okay, anyway, we'll move on to the next question. What or who inspires you to be in this field, Aleena?
Okay. What or who inspires me to be in this field?
कोई एक चीज बता दें जो आपको इंस्पायर करती है to be in this field, or you feel lucky to be in this field.
One of the things जब मैं dentistry में आई थी ना, which I really felt बहुत motivation थी to do more in this field was कि किसी की smile को change करके उनको वो confidence देना ना, when you see that in that person, वो इतनी rewarding feeling है that you really want to do more. So that is something on a personal level जो इतनी ज़्यादा inspiration है. आप किसी की भी जब smile change करते हैं ना, and the way they smile more because of that, वो confidence उनमें आता है. That is something on a personal level that I feel was a huge inspiration for me to be in the field. But that is also something that मैं इस field में आई थी तो I realized that was not something जो मुझे पहले से था कि you know I'll do that, ये होगा तो that something like that. On talking about like professors or teachers, I'd say there's one professor from whom I've learned a lot, not just regarding dentistry, but in general life as well. I would really like to mention Dr. Kefi. He was the first dean of our institute as well, and the way he taught us in the 4 years, जिस तरह वो हमें लेके चले हैं, जिस तरह उन्होंने हमें चीजें सिखाई हैं, not just regarding dentistry but regarding dental ethics, career counseling, लोगों से बात करने का तरीका and all that. So that is something that was a huge inspiration for me in regarding to sir, that I really felt that, you know, I want to do more in dentistry.
Very nice. Aneeqa.
Thank you. Honestly, I've heard about Dr. Kefi from Aleena and from Nasser and from Hifsa and everywhere. I really look up to meeting him now, inshallah.
Yeah, same. I've also heard a lot of. I've also heard Karachi के almost सबसे ही सुना हुआ है. मतलब जो इनके college के हैं, I've heard a lot about him. Yeah.
Maybe inshallah. And so the question was who and what inspires me. Okay, so in for the what part, first of all, a little background that in my family there is no medical or dental doctor. So that is one thing. Now, keeping that in perspective, when I started studying BDS in college and all that, previously, I certainly did not have the kind of exposure where I could see somebody very closely treating patients. So if I'm sure we know that dental phobia is one of the biggest phobias in the world, and it's real.
Yeah.
So, and because of that, for something that somebody is afraid of, if you can take care of that for someone, it means you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
So for me, what really inspires me about dentistry is that for something that people are so scared about, they're scared for good reasons, because the mouth is part of your face and it's visible, and you have to use it for your routine things,
For everything.
everything.
हम इस चीज को ह्यूमनाइज नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि हम डेंटिस्ट हैं. आप खुद सोचिए कि आपका एक इंसान मुंह खोल के आपके सामने लेटा है और आप उसमें काम कर रहे हो तो उसके ऊपर क्या गुजर रही होगी. हम शायद उस तरह रजिस्टर नहीं कर पाते इस चीज को.
True. Just say one time I recall that one of the patients, he was not willing to get the treatment done from house offices, because it was an anterior restoration. Although my colleague who was about to do that, she was pretty confident about doing it. And she actually called for a senior that I will not let you touch my teeth. What if you do something wrong? Then I'm the person who's going to have to live with it for the rest of my life. You're just going to end up saying sorry. So this particularly really inspires me that, and for the same reason, full mouth rehabs, hands down, I have no words to express any kind of appreciation for people who are doing it and achieving it, and I hope to achieve that one day, inshallah. And in terms of who inspires me, I would like to name many people, honestly, because I think if you have the intention to learn something every day, you get inspired from everybody. I would be inspired, and I have been inspired by things even you and Aleena would have done in the past. But if I were to name one person, I think it will be Professor Ansar Rabia, anatomy professor.
Yeah.
And why I'm saying that is because I really look up to her in terms of her aura, work ethic, and everything else. I've never seen her get really loud, but at the same time, everybody knows how to behave when she's around.
Yeah, that is actually true. That's actually true.
And she's really good in her academics as well. Mashallah. So I really look up to her, and I want
family life, she's good with, you're right, she's good with everything. Yeah.
I want to be like her, honestly. So
Chandler, very nice. That's a brilliant answer. All right. Now let's move a bit towards PADS. Aneeqa, you were the ex-president. Aleena is the current president. You chose, like, you obviously you didn't choose. I know आप लोगों के वो voting shooting होती है और उसके बाद next president बनता है, right? What made Aleena a good candidate to be the president for PADS? ठीक है, ऐसी क्या क्वालिटीज थी? क्योंकि अब जब यंगर जनरेशन आएगी, वो जो नए डेंटिस्ट आएंगे, जो फर्स्ट ईयर सेकंड ईयर में होंगे, दे विल हैव टू क्लाइंब दैट लैडर टू come to the top of PADS की organization. तो ऐसी क्या qualities होनी चाहिए आपके अंदर to climb that ladder?
Honestly, if I look back now, so even for me, I really believe in this. Okay, if it was not me founding a dental student body, it would have been somebody else for sure. Because it was time that this happened in Pakistan. It is the case in other countries.
Absolutely.
So I feel lucky about that part, that I got the chance, alhamdulillah. But once again, so I am immediately reminded about her first interview that I took when she applied for director training. And in her plan of action, I found out, which I asked her about as well, that she's left-handed and she wanted to work on having dental chairs available where left-handed dentists can practice easily.
Okay.
And that was one of those times when I was so awe-inspired by one of the other colleagues or students, sometimes even juniors as well. So I think this one quality is 100% required in anybody who wants to join, that you have a vision of your own. There may be a vision and a mission of the association, and whatever you bring in, it's going to align with that eventually, because there's no good thing that's going to harm anybody, right? Yeah. So for keeping that in perspective, you do need a vision of your own as well when you step into this.
Perfect.
So vision is really, really, really important. There's so many other things, honestly, teamwork.
But this is, yeah, wo to sari,
but perspective, vision, mindset is so important.
So my next question is to Aleena. Aleena, these are controversial question, so bear with me. Karachi or Lahore, कहाँ पर quality of dentistry practice ज़्यादा सही हो रही है, ज़्यादा अच्छी हो रही है?
Okay. एक तो ये कराची और लाहौर वाली डिबेट कब खत्म होगी? अच्छा, इसका सीन ये है कि I would love to answer that question as honestly as possible. लेकिन उसका सीन ये है कि I've been to Lahore many times, but and I know a lot of people from Lahore as well now. लेकिन अगर मैं वैसे practice की बात करूँ तो मैंने लाहौर की practice पर से देखी नहीं है. Generally मैं आपको बात, I've heard a lot about it. इसी तरह but I've seen practice in Karachi और कराची में किस तरह काम हो रहा है. I have first hand experience of it. लाहौर में इस तरह का सीन नहीं है. I didn't have the chance yet to, let's say, visit institutes या visit clinics to see कि वहाँ पे किस तरह के practice हो रही है, किस तरह का काम हो रहा है. तो उस sort of में comparison में नहीं कर सकूंगी. But जहाँ पे I can draw comparison, वहाँ पे ये है कि I have seen that students of Lahore are more active in dentistry related co-curricular activities as compared to students in Karachi. इसकी सबसे बड़ी एग्जांपल ये है कि टॉकिंग अबाउट, अगर हम लेट्स से आईडीएस या आईएफएमएसए की बात करें, तो दीज आर दी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो मुझे भी पता लगा था व्हेन आई जॉइन पीएडीएस. कराची में आईएफएमएसए या आईडीएस के बारे में इतनी नो-हाउ नहीं थी उस वक्त, और अब थोड़ी बहुत होने लग गई है आफ्टर लाइक पीएडीएस, और अब लोगों को ऐसे से पता लगने लग गया है, बट पहले ऐसा नहीं था. तो इस रिगार्ड में आई वुड से yeah, that's a good question. Why? One of the things that I believe कि क्यों ऐसा था is because maybe students ने co-curricular side पे इस तरह थोड़ा सा read नहीं किया, थोड़ा सा देखा नहीं, और थोड़ा उस तरफ वो गए भी नहीं. They were more interested on the clinical side, more interested clinical dentistry की तरफ, और उस तरफ अपने आप को excel करने में they were more interested.
Do you feel like
But
this, I'm sorry to cut you. Do you feel like this is because of Karachi ka environment? Because Karachi is generally very fast paced, it's work oriented, and it's क्योंकि कराची generally आप देखें तो everyone's always working कराची में, always working,
yes,
literally it's crazy. ठीक है, और इसीलिए कहते हैं लाहौर वाले तो चिल बैठे रहते हैं, इस्लामाबाद वाले तो बिल्कुल वेले बैठे रहते हैं. कराची वालों से कभी बात करो तो is it because of that कि उनको बस है कि काम सीखना है?
दिस कुड बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस, क्योंकि वही बात है कि कराची की जो लाइफ है ना वो वाकई फास्ट पेस्ड है, बहुत ज्यादा बिजनेस ओरिएंटेड है. कराची में अगर आप इंडस्ट्री की भी बात करो तो जो आपकी कॉन्वर्सेशन या डिस्कशन हो रही होती है वो उसी के रिगार्डिंग हो रही होती है, रिगार्डिंग क्लिनिक्स, रिगार्डिंग क्लिनिकल डेंटिस्ट्री एंड को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज. जिस तरह अगर हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लाइक पीएडीएस, एपीडीएस या आईएफएमएसए वगैरह की बात करते हैं, उसके रिगार्डिंग इतनी कॉन्वर्सेशन नहीं हो रही होती, क्योंकि वही बात है बिजनेस ओरिएंटेड city. So yes, I agree that is one of the reasons, but I do feel कि जो perspective में थोड़ा सा change हो रहा है regarding dentistry specifically. People are becoming more inclined towards these activities as well, क्योंकि इनकी importance अब एक तो जहन पे भी थोड़ा सा एक relaxation वाली feel है कि सिर्फ आपने clinic नहीं करना, there are more fields as well, more opportunities as well, और वैसे भी तो this ideology is sort of is changing in Karachi, but Lahore is better that way in regards to co-curricular activities, that I'd say.
चले, वैसे भी हम कराची को कुछ कह नहीं सकते, कराची चलता है तो पाकिस्तान पलता है, कराची वालों का फेवरेट डायलॉग है, तो इसलिए we can't say much. All right, Aneeqa, you're among so many other things, the dental influencer of the year. You know I was going to bring that up. So, Acha, how big of a responsibility is that?
Okay, so I remember when I got the email from Dental News that we would like to nominate you. I think one of the few things I did was check who else got nominated once the nominations were out there, because I was, I was not really sure if I am the person out of everybody who could be nominated. So I looked up, and the other people, they had more followers than me.
They had, I agree. I was very surprised that you won, because Floss and Flaws and I told with someone, I was like, how are we going
now
to
I follow them too, and they have really good content as well, and they had like, I can't even.
But the thing is, their content is not their content is amazing. I follow both of them. I follow their blogs. I love Floss and Floss content. I love Stroll with Someone content. But they're not dentistry blogs. They're not dental influencers.
So basically, something like that happened, that maybe the people who were actually interested in putting a vote were people maybe who were interested in only dentistry more rather than life as well. Maybe something like that. Hope so, inshallah. So once I got the award, I remember that I honestly did not make any specific plan regarding that. That now I am Dental News Influencer of the Year, so I need to do this and that. The only thing that I thought, and I still think, is I felt like I've now gotten the award, so the responsibility that attaches to that title as well, maybe there in future as well. So I just need to keep doing and what I do, but even better.
Yeah.
So something around those lines, so that
I 100% agree.
somebody sees that she got the award, so they don't say why did she get the award.
Yeah, no, I
Stuff.
100%
So
agree.
just felt a little more responsibility. That's
Yeah.
all, but did not change anything for me.
That's perfect. Nobody wants to change your content. Your content is amazing. Keep it that way. Everyone loves your content.
Definitely.
All right, Aleena, next question to you. Once again, controversial question. आपसे पता नहीं क्या आपके लिए controversial question ही लिखे हुए मैंने. Who is the next president of PADS?
Who is the next president of PLS?
ये actually
We are yet to.
लोगों ने
We are
actually
yet to.
कहा था कि ये question पूछे. Who is the next who is the next president of PADS?
We are yet to open the call of leadership that is opening very soon. But the next president will obviously someone who is the most sincere and the most motivated and the most talented for the job. So I'm going to give you a diplomatic answer for it.
बहुत सियासी जवाब दिया आपने. So basically, मतलब I can be one of the candidates. चलें, perfect. All right, moving on. PADS has done a lot.
PADS will be lucky to have you.
I don't know, man. I'm not a dental student anymore. लोग कहेंगे ये graduate हो गया अभी भी PADS का no, thank you so much.
It's okay.
No, I'm honored. Thank you so much, Aneeqa. Acha, PADS has done a lot of good work. Amazing work. I love what PADS does. I am a huge fan. But one thing that dentistry को बहुत ज़्यादा hurt करती है और dental students को बहुत ज़्यादा hurt करती है, वो है quackery. ठीक है? बहुत ज़्यादा hurt करती है. कराची में भी, लाहौर में भी. ठीक है? Students को once they graduate, they have to go to QUACKS to learn blah blah blah. You know how it works. इसके ऊपर क्या रिफॉर्म कैसे लाया जा सकता है आप लोग, क्योंकि एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही ये करती हैं, ये स्टेप उठाती हैं, ठीक है? वैसे ये जो काम है ये पीडीए का होना चाहिए, पाकिस्तान डेंटल एसोसिएशन का, बट वो शायद ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उस तरह से फंक्शनल नहीं है. तो हम लोग एज अ स्टूडेंट बॉडी, एज फ्रेश ग्रेजुएट्स क्या कर सकते हैं टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम दैट वी फेस इतनी बुरे तरीके से? Either of you can answer. Aneeqa, because she took the last question, you can take this question.
Sure. So here's the thing. I'll tell you about policy making. This is one of the objectives that I wrote in the constitution of the organization.
Yeah.
This is one of the objectives to work on. Introducing policies and proposing policies. Right now, since Alhamdulillah, although Alhamdulillah for that, a lot of other objectives are being fulfilled. This currently is actively being not. And until recently, I've been thinking about it, that what we can do about it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, inshallah, first of all, even before introducing any of the policies, like you're mentioning quackery, and I'll come to that specifically. But in one line, we need to actively start work on that. It is there in the objectives. About quackery, if you also recall Dr. Fazan's lecture, he also mentioned about it. And he asked us how many quacks you think are in Pakistan. And nobody we were talking in thousands at most. And he said, how many?
7 lakh. I think he said 7 lakh?
7 lakh quacks.
7 lakh quacks.
So that's an insane number.
Yeah.
And I think overall comes here, which is one of the questions I wrote for sir as well, which I could not ask you with the lack of time. I'm going to ask him later on. But one thing that I try to figure out in this scenario is who is the enabler of all this? I think it's us. It's not them. It's us. It's all of us. And soon it will be you and me. Very rightly. So I think whenever we step into that, so I'll give you an example of what overall can be as young graduates.
Yeah.
Recently, there was a conversation going on, me and 2 other dentists. They were also fresh graduates. One was my class fellow as well. So she was talking about joining a clinic that was of a quack. In simple words, an assistant who had opened a clinic wanted a license, and therefore, if she can present her license, she can get a job over there.
And paying her very well.
Now,
paying her very well.
So she's the enabler.
Yeah,
the enabler,
I
right?
agree.
So
I
very
agree.
politely, I did not interrupt her conversation directly in order to be polite, and so that, because when you're very direct about anything to somebody, they might actually go like,
I
"Ab
agree.
to main yahi karungi."
Yeah.
Who is she to tell? So indirectly, not the same day, some other day, I talked to her about how we should not be in, because otherwise she's a very nice person, and I understand that why she was trying to do that was because due to lack of jobs, all the young graduates would just do anything to
Yeah.
land a job in initial stages. So indirectly, after some days, I did talk to her about it, and I don't know how things go, but I think this is our role, that when we enter all of this, we stop becoming the enablers. So yes, they are there, and it's going to be a long fight. But one advice uh, for myself and for anybody would be to stop being the enablers. That's like the first step. And
That's
once we've done that and achieved that, we are eligible to actually start proposing policies or doing anything about it and making it a point. So we have to take the first step, just like that.
that's amazing, Aneeqa. अलीना, कराची में भी सेम यही मसला है. कराची में तो बहुत ज़्यादा क्वैक्स है. मतलब लाहौर में तो हैं, कराची में उससे भी ज़्यादा है. Because I know my immediate family that lives in Karachi, even they've been going to quacks, and I did not know this till like 2 years ago. तो इसलिए मुझे भी काफ़ी शौक लगा था. How, like, अनीका ने बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट रेज किया है. आप बहुत ब्रीफली अगर आप थोड़ा सा ऐड करना चाहें इस क्वेश्चन आंसर में.
100% I agree with Aneeqa. First, she's saying that we have to stop being the enablers, and secondly, the policy making. Second point, only thing I'll add onto it is that the first and foremost thing that we have to ensure on this level कि अभी जो हमें first चीज करनी है वो ये कि we have to create awareness of it. जो easy money वाली बात है ना, ये बहुत ज़्यादा valid point है. उसकी वजह ये है कि अगर आप कराची में you'd of course know southern side पे if you see तो वो line से dentist सारे
Yeah,
बने हुए
yeah,
हैं, वो
yeah.
नहीं हो रही है. We have to create the awareness that although it's easy money, you are only hurting yourself in terms of your clinical practice as well as your reputation on both ends. इसकी awareness हम बहुत ज़्यादा करें. सबसे पहली चीज़ तो ये. दूसरी चीज़ ये I would say कि touching up slightly on the policy making, of course, we have to work more on that and how we'll properly structure it. But one of the things is to open up a clinical practice. इसका जो process है ना, ये बहुत streamlined होना चाहिए और बहुत I would say थोड़ा strict होना चाहिए. अभी आप कराची में क्लिनिक खोलना कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है. Even if I'm an undergraduate, I can easily open up a clinic. तो अगर ये प्रोसेस अगर हम रूट लेवल पे इसको स्टॉप करेंगे ना, तो जो आगे क्वाकरी बढ़ती जा रही है ना, इट विल स्टॉप. बिकॉज क्वाकरी हमारे प्रोफेशन को बहुत ज्यादा हर्ट करती है, बहुत.
I agree. And इसमें अगर मैं अपना थोड़ा सा ओपिनियन दूं, I agree with अनीका कि हम enablers हैं. जो लोग क्वैक्स को इनेबल कर रहे हैं ना, मतलब क्वैक्स को इनेबल तो हम ही कर रहे हैं, you're right. मगर जो लोग उनको अलाउ कर रहे हैं to be over there and not saying anything to them, they're healthcare commissioners. ठीक है? So there needs to be some kind of because that's bureaucracy and that's a whole another ball game from dentistry. वो हेल्थ केयर कमिश्नर्स जो है ना, वो इन चीज़ों को नहीं कर पाते हैंडल. ठीक है, वो जिस बंदे को भेजते हैं उनको ब्राइब मिल जाती है एंड दे वो क्लिनिक चलता रहता है. तो उधर कहीं पे रिफॉर्म लाने की जरूरत पड़ सकती है. बट इंशाल्लाह आई एम श्योर ये भी एक प्रॉब्लम है जो इन द फ्यूचर.
You're very right about that. And one more thing that I really want to mention here, which needs a mention, is that right now all the clinics that QUACKS have opened, if you think about it, so they did not open it for free, although they did the wrong thing. But they also invested their time, money, and effort in order to open that. So even now, if we try to tell them and give them a lecture about it, they're not going to close it, right? There's so many clinics like that. So one more thing that our field really needs to work on is that we start making certified dental hygienists and all those other specialties in dentistry. Our universities need to start promoting these courses very actively so that these people may have some sort of qualification at least.
No, you're
because
right.
They also have that opportunity. Honestly, they are working at different. So for instance, somebody is working without any due qualification at an academic institute, and they're learning all the things. Why not give them a program simultaneously and give them some sort of certification so that they and the dentist can form a team and open, because a dentist also cannot open clinic alone.
Clinic alone, yeah.
Okay. So
but
that's
on your point, I'm loving this conversation because it's so मतलब it's going back and forth. The thing is, मैं आपको बताता हूँ एक बड़े मजे की चीज़ बताता हूँ. I'm sure you don't know about this. लाहौर में 3 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं जो कि डेंटल हाइजीन का कोर्स कराती हैं. उन 3 में से 2 जो डेंटल हाइजीन हाँ, I'm not naming any वो, I'm not naming any, but 3 में से 2 जो यूनिवर्सिटी हैं जो exactly 3 में से जो 2 मार्केट कराती हैं, मार्केट कर रही हैं, वो उसको ऐसे मार्केट कर रही हैं डेंटल टेक्नीशियन, डेंटल हाइजीनिस्ट के कोर्स को, that after completing this course you can open your own clinic.
that is wrong.
They're marketing the universities are marketing their own courses like this. So you're right, it is a very long fight and it is a very long discussion. We can have some other day. We can do a whole podcast on just this.
Let's conclude it. Let's conclude. What is the first step? I think 2 things. We take responsibility and don't become the enablers of ourselves. And secondly, what Aleena mentioned as well, that that they're not given the license and the process to actually open up a clinic becomes really strict, and more, so that more quacks don't open clinic at least.
I agree.
At least.
I
More or don't come. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Aleena, Aneeqa, you guys are Aneeqa की हाउस जॉब खत्म हो गया है. Let's go towards a more जरा मजे की बातें. Aneeqa, आपकी हाउस जॉब खत्म हो गई है. Aleena, आपकी हाउस जॉब में 1 महीना सिर्फ रह गया है. ठीक है. Firstly, how does it feel to be to be unemployed in the next 1 month? And secondly, आगे का क्या सोचा है?
Do you want me to answer it first, or should we move on to any?
पहले आप.
Yes, go ahead.
Acha, it feels weird, honestly, कि I'll be leaving my institute after 5 years. It's home. बहुत प्यार है अपने institute से, तो एक तो वो चीज़ है leaving it. Secondly, 2 चीज़ें हैं. एक तो ये कि it feels weird, but दूसरा ये कि it feels motivating and थोड़ा सा भी कि I want to see what the future holds for me next. 2 चीज़ें.
Okay, good. That's the spirit, because that's मेरी भी यही थी कि बस अब करियर बिल्ड करना है, अब देखते हैं क्या करना है. It's been 1 year. Okay, anyway, yeah. अब इसमें ये कि when it ends, so I'll see what happens next. But one of the things that I would say is कि जैसे जैसे हाउस जॉब अभी 1 महीना रहेगी ना, ये खत्म होने वाली है. मैंने इतनी सारी चीजें नोट की हैं among us डेंटिस्ट, अब तो डेंटिस्ट कह सकते हैं, that clear कि lack of career counseling बहुत ज़्यादा है. Half of my class is appearing in FCPS solely because of the reason कि ओहो बस पाकिस्तान में रहें तो बस यही ऑप्शन है. Nobody is exploring onto other option. Nobody is looking into कि और क्या क्या आप कर सकते हैं. But just like हर बंदे ने FCPS के लिए अप्लाई कर दिया. You ask about other options, नहीं, अभी तो बस FCPS देखते हैं, फिर देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है. तो दैट इज समथिंग जो मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा फील हुआ है कि जिस समय अभी 1 महीने में इसी में थोड़ा सा वर्कअप कर रही हूँ कि व्हाट आई वांट टू डू, व्हाट आई विल डू इन फ्यूचर, नॉट सिंपली जस्ट FCPS या अदर एवेन्यूज क्या इन डेंटिस्ट्री में that I can get into, that I can explore as well. But yes, let's see what the future holds. But one of the things that I have felt is the lack of career counseling या this craze of FCPS है ना, I hope इसको हम we can cater to it. All right. Aneeqa, चले उनकी तो अभी 1 महीना रहता है, आपकी तो खत्म हो गई है, so you're basically unemployed.
Maybe time.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, Aleena. Acha.
Thank you.
So I'm sure you've also spent 5 years in CMH, amazing 5 years, I'm sure, just like me. तो अब आपको अब आपको लग रहा, अब आपको एक वो फील आ रही होगी कि अब CMH नहीं जाना, ठीक है. तो एक तो how is that feeling, and secondly आगे का क्या सोचा है?
अच्छा, I don't know about anybody else के how somebody would see me as, लेकिन for myself I believe when I do get worried about it, but for a split second, because the moment I start worrying that what is going to happen next, the immediate moment I tell myself, why would I worry? Because honestly, if you think about it, how far we have come, did we plan it? No. Did it go the way we wanted? No. Did everything we wanted or thought about was exactly like this? No. But what actually happened, was it better than what we wanted?
Yeah.
Most of the times the answer is yes.
Yes.
So with that spirit, I'm just jumping into the
Wow,
next
man.
month and the next month.
मुझे तो तुमसे मोटिवेशन लेनी चाहिए. मैं इतना खुश हो गया हूँ ये बात सुन के कि I had not planned for any of this and all of this has happened. Very nice, Aneeqa.
We did not
That's
plan
it.
our life, right? So why are we trying so hard to plan the rest of it?
चलें?
So one thing is risk.
Yeah.
Risk is what we get worried about, right? कि पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे?
Yeah.
Allah Ta'ala take cares of that. We don't. Okay, done and dusted. Now what's next? My only job is to work hard.
Work hard. Absolutely. ये तो
And
खैर
one more thing, if you see young graduates around you, and I'm sure you have more experience than me, you've seen more people around you who would go around and tell you that
ज़्यादा कोई इतना ज़्यादा experience नहीं है मेरा. कोई बहुत मैं बुजुर्ग नहीं हूँ आपसे.
you will understand what I mean when I
Yeah,
tell you.
I'm just kidding. You can go on.
So for instance, you will find out people around you who will keep telling you, which I have now started finding, that there are no jobs in dentistry. Then please get up and ask them, how many jobs did you apply for?
Oh my God, this
Most
was
of
my
the time
next
the answer
question.
is I did not apply for anything.
This was my next
Till the-
question to you. Exactly this.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you a story. Last year, when I had to apply for demo shifts, I applied. There are 11 dental colleges in Lahore. ठीक है, 10 or 11 इसी तरह कुछ है.
Yeah.
मैंने सिर्फ एक डेंटल कॉलेज में अप्लाई नहीं किया था, वो भी इसलिए क्योंकि मेरी जहाँ मैं भी कर रहा हूँ काम, वहाँ पे मेरी इंटरव्यू कॉल आ गई थी तो आए वो. ठीक है. And all my friends who didn't get demo shifts or did मतलब नहीं, they applied to 3 CMH, FMH, LMDC, जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा सैचुरेशन है डेमोन्स्ट्रेटर्स की. So I was like, how can you say jobs nahi hai when you haven't even applied to the full amount of colleges? ठीक है?
But right now, I'm not trying to say that I've figured out everything.
I agree.
Being honest, I've figured out nothing
I'm
in my
just
life.
glad
Right
we're thinking on
But-
this same go, yeah.
but we have to think like this for us to actually be anywhere, even get anything from life.
Yeah.
You have to at least apply, you have to at least work hard. And that's what I'm trying to do. I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea. But I did not have any idea about all that has happened as well.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Chale, very nice. That's a beautiful answer. I love that answer. All right. क्या कुछ ऐसी चीजें होती हैं जो पेट पीव्स होती हैं, जो चीज आपको अब you've been in the organization, you've seen dental students around you, आपने भी, आपके नीचे भी अनीका बहुत डेंटल स्टूडेंट्स रहे हैं, अलीना आपके नीचे भी बहुत डेंटल स्टूडेंट्स रहे हैं. क्या ऐसी चीज़ है डेंटल स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में? आई एम श्योर you've worked with amazing people, ठीक है? I know the people you've worked with, they're amazing, ठीक है? बहुत अच्छे अच्छे लोग भी हैं, they work very hard, they're very मतलब लीडर्स हैं, ठीक है? मगर कुछ डेंटल स्टूडेंट में ऐसी चीज़ आप देखते हो जो बहुत अनॉय करती है आपको. वो ऐसी एक दो चीज़ें क्या आपको नजर आई हैं आजकल के डेंटल स्टूडेंट जो आपको बहुत अनॉय करती हैं? What? This was my question, जो अभी आप बात कर रही थी. अलीना.
Just to elaborate on it more, you mean on an organization level or generally in dentistry?
Generally. अगर कोई चीज भी लगी, you don't have to answer the question. It's fine.
Nothing per se, but I think one of the things that I would say generally सबको बहुत ज़्यादा उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा workup करना चाहिए. Overall in Pakistan, we will be punctuality. One of the things I really believe in कि आप giving respect to everyone is very very important. Not just respect as a person, but respect of their time as well. जो चीज़ मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा नोट किया ना in our society generally, वो ये कि fashionably late का concept हम बहुत ज़्यादा believe करते हैं. दूसरी चीज़ ये कि even if you're late, you have to inform the other person, I'll be 2 minutes late, I'll be 5 minutes late and all that, so that other person is aware of that as well. So I really feel that be it your class, be it your meetings, be it anyone, आप generally as friends पे अगर किसी को मिलने जा रहे हैं ना at a restaurant, try to be on time. Just time पे अगर आप late हुए तो inform it as well. So I think punctuality is one thing that I overall believe कि उसके ऊपर ज़रूर हमें work करना चाहिए.
That's amazing.
Everybody.
That's amazing. Especially, you're only the second dentist from Karachi I'm interviewing, because dentists from Karachi do not have time. Why is that? Like, they just do not give you time. The only person I was able to interview was Dr. Faizan. God bless him. But वो भी मुझे बहुत मुश्किल से time मिला था. It took me like 4 months of back and forth messages. But
But
oh
sir,
my God,
but
I've messaged so
Dr.
many
Salam,
dentists from Karachi. Why don't they have time? I just don't get
send
it.
me a list afterwards. I'd see कि आपने किनको approach किया है and we'll figure it out कि क्यों नहीं है time उनके पास. Maybe I'll personally reach out to them.
चलें, we'll see. All right. अच्छा पहले मैं आंसर करता हूँ. Annoying जो मुझे चीज़ बहुत pet peeve लगती है. I've done so many podcasts. UK का एक अलग पॉडकास्ट है, अमेरिका का एक अलग पॉडकास्ट है, UAE का एक अलग पॉडकास्ट है, फॉरेंसिक ओडोंटोलॉजी का, कि बस इनमें करियर कैसे बिल्ड करना है, ठीक है. बट स्टिल पीपल विल स्टूडेंट्स विल मैसेज मी कि यूके का क्या, यूके अगर मैंने जाना है तो व्हाट शुड आई डू, एंड आई बी लाइक आई हैव डन दिस, एंड आई बी लाइक आई हैव डन दिस इंटरव्यू विद डॉक्टर सारा जुबैर, यू शुड डेफिनेटली चेक आउट दैट इंटरव्यू, उसमें ऑल योर क्वेश्चंस विल बी आंसर्ड. वो कहेंगे कैन यू सेंड मी द लिंक, and I'll be looking at my phone and like I don't even want to talk to you right now. Okay, यार, at least find the episode yourself. कि मतलब wanted on a platter की बात है, ठीक है. Anyway, that's something that annoys me very much. Aneeqa, what annoys you?
अच्छा, first of all, I'll add to what you just said because अभी मैंने यही लिखा है.
Okay.
They want everything on a plate.
Yeah.
And this
think on the
you
same
just gave one
wavelength.
example. You just gave one example, and
Yeah.
it's the same with every little thing. So I'll tell you, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to
I agree.
ask things. And honestly, whenever somebody has asked me, even the things that maybe
Yeah.
I don't want to use any word because
Yeah.
if I say anything wrong about their question, it means I'm belittling their question.
Yeah.
So I'll not do that. But
Right.
I'm sure
I
my
agree.
message is being conveyed right now. So I will always politely answer regardless. But at the same time, since you've already asked this, I really want to emphasize on the fact that there are some, just for example, me,
Yeah.
I never learned from anywhere how to write the constitution of an organization or make a team or work in a team or things like that. So what did I do? I simply reached out to internet. I reached out to professors and I found the answers.
Yeah.
So one thing, to expect everything on a plate, that somebody is going to come to your place, to your room and tell you each and everything, that's like impossible. You have to make the effort. You have to search things. You have to read up on things. You have to watch YouTube videos. You have to watch, you have to do all those things yourself first. So for instance, if you are messaging anybody how to write a CV, I want to know if you've searched that online first or not.
Oh my God, मैं next example ये देने वाला था अनीका. मैंने literally अभी अपने notes में लिखा है how to write a CV. So many people message me how to write a CV, and I'm like, how am I supposed to
love
do
to
that?
I'll tell you, I love to answer that question, and
Yeah.
I love to tell people that these are sites you can use. And I don't have a problem with that, even if somebody is going to ask me 100 times again. But from the perspective of an individual themselves, what if somebody doesn't reply to you? You will never find out how to write a CV.
Yeah,
So you have to, because the word is like that, so you have to make an effort. Second thing would be, we don't know how to respect each other.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem. So I'll tell you, we make groups and there are messages, and sometimes some people will not reply to texts. Some people will do very nicely. So I think to learn this kind of professionalism, when the organization is a workplace, that if somebody is sending in a message, just like when you send in a message and you expect an answer, the other person is also expecting an answer. Be respectful no matter who that person is. And one thing about respect that we need to learn is that even if you dislike somebody for any reason, you still have to show respect as a colleague. And not and honestly, like you were saying that I work with other dental students, etc. Every time when I've interacted with any other dental student, I've ever in my head thought that I'm the president or the head or something like that. I've always interacted like I'm interacting with colleagues. And I've tried my best that I always keep that in mind when I'm answering or talking to anybody. And then I would expect the same, but everybody's unable to do that. One mistake is on part of them, and the second mistake is on part of the institutions, because we're not groomed to be in these conversations, be in an environment where we talk with our colleagues, because it's a whole set of skills how you talk to people in your workplace. It's a whole set of skills, so that's really lacking. And then there's so many things. I won't take more time. There's a big list of. And lastly, since this was all very negative, so let's end it with a positive thing, which is that things are changing as well. If I tell from
the next question bhi yahi tha, that you can continue.
Okay, so if I tell from my experiences, I've seen people change so much, so much. So people join in PADS, they work for 1 year, then I see change in their way of talking, in their way of writing emails.
I agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. That the way they converse, the way they talk, कुछ लोग naturally professional होते, जो कुछ लोग naturally professional होते हैं, ठीक है? They just know how to text, they know how to. Maybe it's their O level, A level, FSC में उनकी grooming हुई भी होती है, उन्होंने MUNs debates की होती हैं, whatever, ठीक है? But some people actually have groomed themselves through this organization, and that is, I think, beautiful. Amazing.
And that amazes me too, honestly, mother. It's all the effort is on their part, because if they did not try, that would never have happened. And that is just to prove that anybody can improve. Because people and students come up to me and tell me that I've always been like this. I've always been shy. I've always not been able to talk to other people. I've always had stage fright and whatnot. There's always a list. But then there are examples of people.
Because so many people message me before they're moderating any lecture on कोई APDSA का lecture moderate कर रहा है, कोई PADS का lecture moderate कर रहा है, and all of them, or not all of them, but many of them message me कि हम moderate कैसे करें. And I am so happy. Like मैं पूरे 5 मिनट के voice note भेजता हूँ कि ऐसे कर लो, ऐसे कर लो, ऐसे कर लो. Like अभी जब ये Narmeen and Minahil had to moderate the lecture with Dr Rosentiel, I was constantly helping, like messaging them and telling them जो questions पूछने हैं, questions कैसे पूछने हैं. And they did an amazing job. I was so happy that.
And I'm sure they learned. So ये भी बहुत important है to have the mindset of growth and.
Aleena, let's talk. You both are women, ठीक है? You both are females. हमारी society, हमारी field. Yeah, obviously I had to ask this question, Aneeqa. हमारी field उस तरह से शायद women को उस तरह से नहीं empower कर पाती, जिस तरह से एक working environment नहीं दे पाती, जिस तरह से देना चाहिए. How can we as a society allow women to become a more efficient, more effective, play a more effective role in our dental workforce?
अच्छा, जो ये वाला topic है ना, एक तो this can go on for hours.
I know. We can talk so much about this. Yeah.
Literally, this is also something I feel very strongly about.
Same. Me too.
I'm sure Aneeqa can relate to it very much as well. अगर आप वैसे generally भी अभी भी आप dental workplace में देखो ना, so being dentist, आप male and female आप लोग बहुत close proximity में काम कर रहे होते हो. Be it like patient, a male patient, a male dental assistant, and you.
Yeah.
अभी भी ना, we need to bring in some rules, regulations, policies for that, number one, and we have to make that a safe space for women. अगर मैं आपको अभी भी I can give you multiple examples where my friends or my colleagues, or even in some instances myself, have felt certain way working with certain people, and we have to, like, वो boundaries को define करनी पड़ी थी. हालांकि वो मेरा काम नहीं था boundaries define करना, should have been given. So that is something जिसके ऊपर अभी हमें बहुत ज़्यादा काम करना है. Annual Congress इंशाल्लाह जो इस साल हम कराची में करवाएंगे, this is also one of the topics that we're trying to introduce. इसके ऊपर हम बात भी बहुत ज़्यादा करेंगे on how we can make it better. क्योंकि वही बात है, अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ तो I don't have that much experience in that yet. मैं अभी प्राइवेट क्लिनिक नहीं कर रही, मैं प्राइवेट क्लिनिक में वो क्या चीज़ होती है उसका मुझे इतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. So we will be having some sort of panel discussion on that as well, on how we can.
Oh, I was about to say that, कि इस पे panel discussion कराना. Yeah. All right, your answer is over. Sorry.
Yes.
Aneeqa, what will you say about this?
Okay, just like Aleena said, the conversation on this one can go on for even, but let's see. So for women, first of all, like you mentioned, so your question was also about how women can contribute more, right?
How we as a society can empower women to be part of the workforce.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Although the responsibility lies both ways, but okay, as a society, how we can. So first of all, one issue that is very highly debated along with this, and that just goes parallel, is that there are many women in the field, but we don't see them eventually in the workplaces. In the workplaces, there are more men. Yes, that is true. And one of the biggest reasons for that is definitely the fact that and the reason I'm about to mention is not the problem or the challenge on part of women only, it's honestly for every dentist, which is that we have thought about what we want to do already. And if that does not happen, we do not want to do anything else. So I'll give you an example. If there's a woman who would like to have an FCPS training in CMH, if she doesn't get that, okay, fine. Let's not do anything about dentistry that we liked. Secondly, since obviously for very good reasons and for obvious reasons, if somebody decides, any girl decides to, resume their career 1 or 2 years later, I've seen those people. I know one of my professors quoted maxillofacial surgeon. She's a female and she joined like that. I do not recall her name. She's a surgeon right now. Then there's another example of one of the PGs at CMH. She entered her residency program after she had her daughter. So we have multiple examples like that. So one, that the institutions are welcoming in regards to that. Secondly, I've seen professors who would go about very I do not want to use the word bluntly, but let me find a better word. So being very open about the fact that women should not be marrying early if they want to pursue their career. Although we have multiple examples of women who did that and they pursued their career simultaneously. So everybody has a different story and it's fine.
Yeah.
So institutions must enable them in terms of taking their own decisions and not telling them that if you do this or if you do that. So, giving an equal opportunity to anybody, no matter where they are in life, and not prejudging them that they will not be able to do anything because they just got married.
I agree.
And I think would be that on part of women, not belittling any of the jobs we get in order to give back to the community what we've learned. Because once we get the degree, it's a responsibility to give back to the dental community what we have. And it can be done in so many ways, not defining that these are the ways we can only do that. Only if we are an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, we can do that. Or only if we are a periodontist, we can do that. No, there's so many ways of doing it. So if we keep doing that and if the institutions let them do that.
Yeah.
So, and I honestly, this is a question that I will keep asking myself over a period of time and finding better answers. I still feel like.
Perfect. That's a beautiful answer. All right. We're moving towards the end of this conversation. In a single line, if you had to tell me, what is the single biggest problem that fresh graduates are facing right now? So what would that be? Just in a single line, just the problem. Solution हमारी audience ढूंढेगी. Problem आप बताएं, Aleena.
It has to be a single line.
Not more than 2 lines. I did this at the panel discussion as well.
That's what I was recalling.
Yeah.
I think I would really like to elaborate on it more.
Ek line bolo and then like tell me the problem in 1 line and then you can elaborate on it. Okay. Let's do it that way.
I think the problem that the young dentist students are facing is the lack of motivation and the way dentistry is being taught currently.
Okay.
That's the problem.
चलें, that's
Should I elaborate it? इसी के elaborate कर दो अभी?
yeah, बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. Let's keep it that way. That's the problem that we're facing, and I agree with that. Aneeqa.
Among many problems, one of the biggest problems is that when a dental student graduates in Pakistan, they don't even know what they were supposed to know as part of the curriculum, theory part and the clinical part.
Yeah.
So a very big problem.
A very
Yes.
big
I'm not even talking about something that needs to be added.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Just
There,
the things that are there,
but
वो भी नहीं पता है. Yeah. Okay.
both.
Beautiful.
The clinical part and the theory part, both.
Beautiful. All right. That's what I was looking for. Acha, second last question before I ask the last question. What can we as individuals, you, me, Aleena, all of us, who have been working these past 2, 3, 4 years to make things better for our dental community, for our dentals, for the young dentists, what can we do further? हमारा क्या आगे? What can we do further to make lives of the next generation of dentists better? Aneeqa, starting from you.
Thank you for the question. So what can we do? I believe that
Because you've already
whenever
done so much, I'm pretty sure it must be a very difficult question. You'll be thinking, मैं तो इतना कुछ कर चुकी हूँ, मैं और क्या करूँ? So yeah.
not at all. Honestly, I'll tell you, it's the complete opposite.
Okay.
The more the things get done, the more there is this responsibility
feeling that you haven't done enough.
You haven't done enough, and you keep wanting to keep yourself for your own sake on the right track.
Yeah.
So it becomes an even bigger. Okay, so for your question, which was that what can we do? I believe that one thing that we must really do is if any of us enters the academia or even the clinical side, for our younger generation, we never ever let the willingness to teach what we know die.
Okay, perfect. That's beautiful.
Because there are going to be times in our life, 100%, when we will be like, I'm not going to help anybody ever again.
Yeah.
Because there are disappointing times. So a challenge for all of us to not let that die, to stay helpful for other people around us.
Perfect.
Inshallah.
Aleena.
I think one of the quotes I really believe in is be the change you want to see in the world. जिस तरह GM, if I say to you कि you wanted to, आप चाहते थे कि जो podcast का रुझान है वो पाकिस्तान में डेंटिस्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा हो, so you create a platform for it so that people listen to more and more podcasts. Similarly, we want to bring the dental students together, so the organization PADS was built so that dental students we can bridge the gap between it. So similarly, anything जो हम चाहते हैं younger generation में देखना, we have to implement it on ourselves so that वो उससे inspiration लें और उससे better करें. So one of the things I would say is exactly yes what Aneeqa said कि throughout our life हम जो भी सीखें we pass on that knowledge क्योंकि वो सदका जारिया है. दूसरा ये to always create more opportunities and ideas for the younger generation so that they can take inspiration from it and do even better than us.
All right, perfect. All right, last question. Beautiful answers. Aneeqa, एक advice हमें दें dental talk को, मुझे दें, sorry, dental talk के लिए.
Acha. Okay, so now this reminds me of the few conversations at the beginning.
Yeah.
With you. We were starting dental podcast, and immediately I recall one of the things that I said then as well. And again, I think maybe having your own website and eventually having some of the lectures so designed that you can work on it. In one word, making it a business model for yourself as well. A very honest advice, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I know you've worked really hard for this, and we've all seen you grow through this. The platform has grown, you have grown. So I really hope to see this turn into a business model for you as well, because know how much hard work it takes.
I've thought about that as well. I just feel like that if I turn this into a business model, then the
Not think
reason why
about it.
I started this to help dental students and to help others, I feel like that might die somewhere. I don't know, because अभी मैं ये
No,
शौक के लिए अभी I just do this for my शौक, because मैं tech videos बनाता हूँ, tech review series.
I'll give you an example. I'll give
That's
you
for
an example.
myself.
I'm not telling you to take away from everybody these free interviews and all this knowledge.
No,
But
I
at the same
know.
time, maybe adding on something.
Yeah, you're right.
Since you recently started working on teaching a few things, so maybe the teaching part, or
I thought of that as well. Yeah.
like the some freebies you give away, or how people can support you, stuff like that. When YouTubers and Instagrammers are actually doing it as well.
Doing
If you
it.
know about
I have
mental
been,
dental,
I know.
mental dental, Dr. Ryan,
You can
he
support.
has tried
Yeah, you can
to do
support.
some things. Everything else is perfect, and honestly, I'm sure you will be in future always adding new things and just looking up to them.
I hope so. Aleena, you.
I already know it'll be great. Inshallah.
Aleena?
GM, it's a wonderful platform. I really enjoyed it. Enjoy it. मैंने आपके बहुत सारे podcasts जो है ना, अब तो मैं regularly सुनती हूँ. जब भी आती हूँ तो मैं timely इसको सुन लेती हूँ. One of the things that I would really like to see on your platform is some sort of like debate sort of thing. जिस तरह कोई भी burning dental question, and then let's say you bring on two professors and they have a debate on it, to have, just to generate more discussion on it. So that is something I would really like to see on your channel.
Oh, that's
that's
actually a very good idea.
Virtual panel discussion.
Online panel session. That's very nice.
I think this is a mini version of that. Can I say that?
Yeah. मेरे सामने दो इतने intimidating personalities बैठी हुई हैं. It is this. I'm feeling the same way as I felt that day on stage at CMH corridor in front of 6 principals.
That's exaggeration and very good. ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
अच्छा, चलें. Thank you so much, Aleena, Aneeqa. This I was not expecting this conversation to be this wholesome. I really enjoyed this conversation. I don't know about you guys, मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया है. ठीक है. And thank you so much for taking time out. I know it's Friday. Now you can go and enjoy your long weekend ahead. And if you guys have anything to add.
Do you go to Azra Nahid on Saturday?
No, I don't. Shukar hai.
I have working Saturday, so I don't have a long.
Oh my God, I am so sorry.
That's what I was thinking. That why, because I really thought apart from CMH everywhere Saturday is on. So I was like, why is ZM still
Aneeqa,
having a long weekend?
Where is Saturday on? Apart from CMH, FMH Saturday off. Only University of Lahore, और वो भी part time है, just by the way. And Sharif, only they have Saturdays on. बाकी और कहीं Saturdays on नहीं.
Karachi में हर जगह Saturday on है. Everywhere on. KMC, Dow,
What Saturdays are on?
हाँ, KMC, Dow, us, everywhere.
Okay, I don't know. Karachi, honestly, I don't know how people can work Monday through Saturday. I would never be able to work.
Very difficult, I'd say.
मतलब
हमने पहले कोशिश की थी ऑफ हो जाए, लेकिन अब तक असल में पता है क्या, वही बात है. GM coming back to how busy Karachi is. A lot of the people are free on Saturday. So us dentists work on Saturday. उस दिन बहुत rush होता है. A lot of patients come.
True, Dow is also on. I watched Floss and Floss ki stories. They're on Saturday. They're on Saturday.
Yes.
So what? Maybe we can hope for what Shehbaz Sharif did again.
Yeah, I just can't. Let's not go into that discussion right now. But I don't think I would ever be able to work on Saturdays. It's too much. Matlab, you only get one day off. That is insane. How is that? How do you live your life then? That's insane.
Bus living it.
I respect people who have gone to college Monday to Saturday for 5 years and then 4 years and then house job maybe. All respect for you, Aneeqa, and for
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys. Let's end this conversation over here. I really enjoyed this conversation, and hopefully.
Before we end this, I was just reminded.
Yeah.
So since the whole theme was about, or at least half of the theme was about PADS and the new leadership and etc. all those things. So I really want to take this chance to give a huge round of applause to all the people who have worked in the organization.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do not have the words. I do not know the words, and I will never find the best words to ever say how great they are.
Yeah.
Matlab, mashallah, 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 mashallah. Great projects, great
I
insight,
agree.
great work ethic, and organizations never work without lots of good people.
I agree.
So a huge round of applause for everybody who's not here today as well.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Very kind of you, Aneeqa.
Chan, perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Inshallah, we'll see each other. Hopefully, I don't know when we'll see each other, but hopefully we will see each other soon. Probably at somewhere in Karachi, at the
Inshallah,
Maybe I'll
inshallah.
come to Azhar Naheed,
Yeah, you should.
because that's what I'm doing these days.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to meeting you. But in Aleena se we'll meet in Karachi, inshallah, at the Congress.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
inshallah.
If we end up going. Chale. Thank you so much, guys. Allah Hafiz. Take care.
Allah
And
Hafiz.
Allah.
yeah, bye bye.